Hey everyone, welcome to Wiki University, the podcast that combines learning and stupidity. I am your professor, Kyle Berseth, and as I am on every episode, I'm joined by my brother-in-arms here, the number one student at WikiU, Jason Nunez.
Hey everybody, welcome back if you're a constant listener, and welcome if it's your first time. We're going to have some fun today. I believe Kyle's got a topic for us.
I do.
But before that, I forgot my first and foremost, which is please like, review our podcast wherever you're listening to this, and also give us a like and follow on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. I believe we're making some Chinese deals, right?
Yeah, we're making Chinese deals. We're still not on YouTube, but someday that's going to get up there.
Yeah, we'll be on there.
Start liking us on YouTube. See what happens.
You're going to have some fun.
Okay, Jason, you want to dive in here?
Let's do it.
So I brought a topic today. I'm very interested in track and field, as you know.
You're a big track and field guy.
I'm a track and field guy.
That's your sport. It's outside of water, so you know you're safe.
Interestingly enough, I used to run the steeplechase, which is the only water-related event.
There's a steeplechase? What's
Yeah.
that? What does that mean?
Oh,
I've never heard of that.
So you run around the track. It's a distance event. It's 3,000 meters. There is unmovable barriers that you have to jump over. And then one jump on each lap goes over a water pit.
Really?
Yeah.
This is a real... Really?
This is real. My topic today is the steeplechase. No, my topic isn't the steeplechase, but yes.
Okay, I think that's a great sport for you because it's still in your realm. You want to avoid the water, right?
Yeah, it really combines both my interests, running and jumping over water.
Yeah, and combines your interests and fears.
And fears, yeah.
That's pretty cool. Okay, so you did that, and then also, I was going to ask, there are no it's not track, field, and water.
No, it's not track, field, and water.
Okay. You were mostly track.
Yeah, I was. So anyway, though, I was thinking about the field events.
You mean you going out there and taking a nice big whiff of that open field?
I guess I wasn't thinking the same way you do.
That's the only thing I do when I go to fields.
But I got to thinking about all the events, the shot put, the discus. You know, you see discus from like Greek statues. They were holding the discus, and I assume the shot put, kind of the same thing.
Discus from a distance.
Right. But the pole vault, that was a weird one to me. I was like, where did that come from?
Okay.
So my topic today is the pole vault.
Do you know, I believe the record just happened not too long ago.
It did, yeah.
For the highest, did you show it to me or did somebody showed it to me? Somebody texted me the video of the person getting the highest.
I did not send it to you, but Mondo Duplantis is the world record holder and has been breaking his own world records for some time now. He's pretty remarkable.
What's his name? Mondo?
Mondo. His full name is Armand, but he goes by Mondo.
That's cool. Armand.
And he went to college in the U.S., but he's got a Swedish mom, and he grew up in the U.S., so he competes for Sweden.
That's great. So he's a Swede, but he's also...
He's more a kid of the U.S.
Kid of the U.S.
Well, he grew up in the U.S., he went to college in the U.S., and then he's like, I'm out of here.
Is that what they called the little caged immigrants? Oh, those are kids of the U.S.
Kids of the U.S., yeah,
right? Okay.
In a different way.
Yeah, I was called that in ESL class. This is the kids of U.S. class. We weren't allowed to say we're in ESL class. We says we're in the kids of U.S. class.
That makes perfect sense.
We wanted to get real Americanized real quick.
Cool. So that's interesting. You have some familiarity with the pole vault.
Not the pole vault.
No, not at all?
No, not at all.
Well, it sounds like you just saw the world record video.
Yeah, that's about it. But no, aside from that, I would never... Not that I would never try it. I probably would never try it.
I would never try it.
It goes... not that I have a fear of heights, but whatever goes up must come down. And there's just so many issues that can happen, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, I have a love of heights, I'd say even. I enjoy getting up and on the edge of things, but it's the bending of something to propel upward that would really scare me. Now, I think to get to that level where you're even pointing your legs upward,
Right.
you got to be pretty talented.
Yes. And I mean the agility in that person alone. And they got to be taught. I mean,
oh, you got to
you're
be
taught at that point, cuz
lean and taught.
Right, to go up like that in such a fashion where it looks it looks almost effortlessly.
Right.
Except when they slow it down in slow motion, then you can see every nook and muscle go to work.
But it still looks effortless, even when they slow it down. Poetry in motion, as they say.
Ah, they do say that. Is that a track and field?
It's usually
motto?
basketball, I think, but it could also be boxing. I think any time that you see a person, doing like flexible things, physical flexible things, and it just goes smoothly. Poetry in motion.
That's very true. Also, when
you run and read poetry.
Well, I was just gonna say, how about like a government that has, or not a government, but just like an army. The way an army, there's a certain beauty to how structured like marching. I mean, like that.
I'm not going to say that's poetry in motion. No, I'd say that's assimilation in motion.
Ooh, assimilate, which is also another thing that I had to do in ESL class. They told me.
There you go.
Very much to assimilate.
Kids of the U.S., assimilate.
That was... I used to say that a lot. I used to say, kids of the U.S., assimilate.
All right, you want to dive in here?
Yeah, let's do it.
Pole vaulting, I'm mostly interested in covering the history. We've already covered the world record, and then we can bounce to something else.
Giddy up.
Pole vaulting, also known as pole jumping, is a track and field event in which an athlete uses a long and flexible pole, usually made of fiberglass or carbon fiber. It has been a full medal event at the Olympic Games since 1896 for men and since 2000 for women. Wow, they really took a while to let the women pole vault.
I bet there was some nasty women out there pole vaulting ahead of their time.
Whoa. The problem was when they jump, the dress goes upside down and covers their eyes. Makes it really tough.
I guess I don't watch women's pole vaulting.
So here's the history. Poles were used as a practical means of passing over natural obstacles in marshy places, such as the province of Friesland in the Netherlands along the North Sea and the Great Level of the Fens in England. Artificial draining of these marshes created a network of open drains or canals intersecting each other. To cross these without getting soaked while avoiding tedious roundabout journeys over bridges, a stack of jumping poles was kept at every house and used for vaulting over canals. Distance pole vaulting competitions continue to be held annually in the lowlands around the North Sea. These far jumping competitions are not based on height. So I thought that was really interesting that they just have these canals, and rather than, build a small wooden bridge or something, they're like, you got to jump over it with a pole.
Well, I would love to see a little landscape of the area, because I feel like they would have done that. That's the easiest thing to do, but something prohibited from doing that.
What do you mean something prohibited? Oh, you mean bridges?
Right.
Yeah, like maybe they had boats going through the canals. And
you're right. Oh, very true. I feel like it's like a lot of sports, it derives from just a common necessity that you just needed to overcome. Yeah, a functional thing.
Right. Kind of like the shot put. Maybe that came from trying to hit your enemy with a big rock.
You mean cannonless?
A cannonless what?
Like you're just trying to shoot an enemy cannonless. You have the cannon.
You have the cannonball.
Ball, right.
Yeah, you don't have the cannon.
Don't have the cannon.
I like how you're like cannonless. You have the cannon. That would have been an event where they're pushing cannons at their opponents.
What is the, well, we don't need to get off this subject of sport.
Off.
You know me. But I was just saying, what is the most recently added sport that's like obscure.
So when you say recently added, what are you adding it to? The
Olympics and stuff, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
what else do you add sports to? Like what,
Well, I don't know, because then you said that's obscure, and if they're adding it, it's not that obscure. Like they just added skateboarding.
Right. Okay.
Which isn't
okay. So not obscure,
obscure.
but just what? Like who's new in the game? Who's got the title of sport now? Who has the Olympics bestowed upon the title of official sport?
Skateboarding.
That's the most recent one?
I think the most recent Olympic Games, yeah, they did skateboarding, and that was a new event.
Pretty cool.
And I think they've got some other ones in the pipeline.
This is how these kids are going to be able to get gold medals at such a young age. Because these kids are like, what, 10? Like the youngest ones.
I think to compete in the Olympics, you
10,
might have to be 12.
Really?
I think so, because there's been issues with some Chinese gymnasts that were actually below
Younger?
age. Yeah.
Younger than,
But,
okay.
you get these little kids, and they can just, like, pop off the ground.
I don't think that's fair that there's an age minimum to.
Yeah, I don't think there's not an age maximum.
Right.
Why an age minimum?
Yeah, because if I'm a 10-year-old and I know I can throw the disc further,
Oh my
the
God, you are quite the athlete.
then the 12 or 13-year-old, I'm gonna be like, "Yo, what's up?" Like that's not fair.
Oh, what if you can throw the disc further than the 27-year-old?
Even more so.
Yeah.
Reason for me to get in there.
Well, I don't know what the reasoning is. I probably because they don't want to have to babysit.
If a kid is competing in an Olympic sport, I feel like he can hold his own. Or she. I said a kid.
You said I feel like he can hold his own.
Okay. I feel like they
Thank you.
can hold their own. I don't know. I just feel like, some of it is gifted talent, but a lot of it is training as well. So if you're disciplined enough to train, I feel like you don't need a babysitter at that point.
Let these kids in.
Let these kids in.
Other early pole vaulting competitions where height was measured took place at the Ulverston Football and Cricket Club. That's in England in 1843. Modern competition began around 1850 in Germany when pole vaulting was added to the exercises of the Turner Gymnastics Club by Johann C. F. Gutsmuths and Friedrich, some other dude. Initially, vaulting poles were made from stiff materials such as bamboo or aluminum. The introduction of flexible vaulting poles in the early 1950s, made from composites such as fiberglass or carbon fiber, allowed vaulters to achieve greater height.
This is when? In the 50s?
1950s, so not that long ago.
They were long ago, I feel like, for carbon fiber. I didn't know carbon fiber was like to hit like pole vaulting,
Let's see.
Because when it's like a new tech or a new fabric or a textile or whatever, it's like, we'll see it everywhere soon enough. But to be on the forefront of vaulting.
Right.
But I guess it's necessary. I guess it lends itself to that because they're looking for something that's more bendy.
They kind of grouped
I know I am. I know I'm always looking for something more bendy.
Let me get the words out. They kind of grouped it together with fiberglass. So I don't know when carbon fiber got added versus fiberglass. I'm sure
What's the difference?
I think carbon fiber is stronger and more lightweight. Here's what carbon fiber is. Extremely strong and light fiber reinforced plastics that contain carbon fibers. Okay.
So it's threaded, right? Because it's fibers.
Yeah, I think it's woven.
That's woven. That's what makes it so strong.
They can be expensive to produce, but are commonly used whenever high strength to weight ratio and stiffness are required, such as aerospace, superstructures of ships, automotive, civil engineering, blah, blah, blah. The binding polymer is often a thermoset resin, such as an epoxy, but other thermoset or thermoplastic polymers, such as polyester, vinyl ester, or nylon, are sometimes used. So they're held together by an epoxy, which is a super hard I'm familiar with epoxy in construction applications. So you mix like two liquids together and the chemical reaction creates a super hard plastic essentially.
Okay. I caught wind of carbon fiber back when my brother was too fast, too furious with his Celica, and I remember he was started to buy carbon fiber parts because they were stronger and lighter.
Too fast, too furious.
Yeah, when we were all Fast and the Furious mode.
Oh, okay.
You know, he had a souped up car, souped up Celica.
What was he adding?
MR2 engine,
Like
carbon fiber parts, carbon fiber hood, carbon
spoiler,
fiber
stuff like that.
I think he already had a spoiler at that point, but yeah, like little carbon fiber parts to make his car lightweight to go faster.
I think
and more furious.
Carbon fiber also changed the cycling game quite a bit, where you get these like 10-pound road bikes that are absolutely crazy. So fiberglass is a common type of fiber reinforced plastic using glass fiber. Okay, so that's the difference. It's glass versus carbon. I'm sure there's some other differences if you're a scientist. Applications include aircraft, boats, automobiles, bathtubs, and enclosures, swimming pools, hot tubs, septic tanks, water tanks, roofing pipes, cladding, orthopedic casts, surfboards, and external door skins.
What's a door skin? A door skin?
I assume a door skin, 2 words. So maybe you have like an internal door that is, it has like a rigid insulation inside, and then it's held together on the outside by a fiberglass skin. So a thin fiberglass
on the door itself.
Sheet on the door itself,
okay.
And then maybe you have like a wood frame around the outside. So it's mostly hollow on the inside, door skin, and some sort of frame.
All I imagine is like Pauly Shore being like, bruh, you nice door skin, bruh. Bruh, nice door skin you got here. Good door skin. Like the lightweight dork skin here.
It's a dork skin now?
Yeah, door skin. Is that what it's called? Door
skin.
Yeah.
But it sounded like you switched over to dork skin, which a whale's penis is a dork, I believe.
Skin? What about the skin part of it?
The skin part is a dork skin.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah.
A dork is a penis of a what now?
The penis of a whale now.
Of a
And the skin that goes over it is a dork skin.
I didn't know that whale penis were called dorks.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
So is that why when bullies see dorks, they're like, I'm going to wail on him?
Oh, yeah, that is why. Because bullies, while they seem dumb, have done their studies. They've gone back to the etymology of the words. And they're like, we want to be right about this.
Perhaps a lot of bullies are past students of Wiki University.
Perhaps.
It's just attain knowledge.
Do you want to look at technology?
Carbon fiber tech?
Well, no, I'm still on pole vaulting.
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
Competitive pole vaulting began using solid ash poles. Huh.
What's an ash pole?
I don't know. I mean, I assume ash. Oh, ash, like the tree.
Oh, not like dead people cremated?
Right. I thought it was like burnt wood, and I'm like, what? That doesn't make sense. Yeah, ash like the tree. As the heights attained increased, bamboo poles gave way to tubular aluminum, which was tapered at each end.
Tubular.
Today's
dark skin, bro. Very tubular.
Today's pole vaulters benefit from poles produced by wrapping pre-cut sheets of fiberglass that contains resin around a metal pole mandrel to produce a slightly curved pole that bends more easily under the compression caused by an athlete's takeoff. Oh, so it's slightly curved.
And you say it's dipped in keef or resin? What?
It contains a resin around a metal pole. What's keef?
Keef and resin are like weed shit.
terms?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, hold on, they dip the poles in keef and then put...
You're thinking of the high jump.
Yeah, that's right.
Here's the all-time top 25. So to give you an idea, Mondo Duplantis has the top 3 of all time.
Mondo.
And then number too is Sergei Bubka, who I remember when I was a kid. He was like at the Barcelona games, I think. Unbelievable. Anyway, Bubka has the next like 5.
Wow.
And they've killed everyone at this event.
With the pole?
With the pole, yeah.
Whoa. Okay, see, I'm for like a Hunger Games-esque kind of thing where every 4 years, like the Olympics, everything goes on as planned, right? The Olympics.
Okay.
But then the losing teams get executed.
Get executed. Okay, I think this is a good time
Why is that
to
not bad?
go to the 1972 Olympics, Jason.
I'd rather that than like war. You know what I mean? Like if everyone signed like the Olympics Treaty of War, and no longer are we allowed to use like wars and mass destruction and stuff like that, but instead we leave it to our top athletes
to go at it.
to fight it out, to go at it. And then the losers, well, I mean, yeah, I'd rather 10 of our top athletes than 1 million of our service men and women.
It's interesting because I think the Olympics were started in goodwill and peace for warring countries to come together.
But there's a gap still, so.
What's the gap? The gap is the athletes are not killing each other?
No, I think the gap is that there's still a lot of war, civil war as well in some countries. There's
They should have their own game. I mean,
they do, and it's bad over there, okay? So that's what I'm saying. If all countries come into an agreement and say, quit fucking around, let's just go straight up athletic ability style.
Yeah.
But then at the end, like, yes, if you lose, you don't make it. So you kind of get, because I feel like humans, no matter what, have that thirst for blood, So it just needs to happen. It's kind of why what's that movie with
I don't think it does need to happen. I don't think you need a thirst for blood at the Olympics.
If you wouldn't trade that to end a war, just forget war. There's no more war now.
That's the rules in this hypothetical.
Yes.
War is done.
As long as we keep killing our athletes.
It has to continue. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting idea. I don't think it'll work.
I think
people can't get along either way. It's too complex.
Right. So why have millions of people not get along? I'd rather have it like a 10-on-10 basketball game.
Because I don't think the millions will agree. I don't think they'll keep their promise of saying we get a 10-on-10 basketball game to the death and we'll not war. Because really what we just wanted is to be able to watch people war.
Yeah, that's true. Also, a new Olympic sport is 10-on-10 basketball.
It's a bigger court.
Same size court.
But it becomes 1-on-1. That's the thing.
Right,
It gets whittled down.
Right. Yeah. Execution style.
And then they're stuck with a quandary of, do I take the ball to the hoop or do I try to murder this person?
I was just about to say, it really kind of changes the game of basketball. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, do you go for more 3-pointers because there's more chances of missing, or do we see some more dunk action coming? People's ups are getting higher. I don't know.
I guess I'm a little confused. I really want to dive into this.
You are?
Yeah, I want to sort out the details since it's probably going to happen next year.
Are you talking about the Olympic game? The new Olympic game?
The new Olympic Games where people fight to the death while playing their sport.
So see, no one is fighting. The fight is the sport. It's like no one's fighting in a basketball game. It's a team versus the other team.
Oh,
but the losing team will get executed.
Oh, okay.
That's when they die.
So it happens after. I thought there were no more flagrant fouls really because murder was happening during the game.
Well, now you're getting into another sport that seems I'm very interested in it.
Yeah.
And I do like that idea of 10 versus 10 on one team.
Yeah.
Versus another 10 on the other team.
Yeah.
And then slowly it whittles down to a one-on-one.
Exploding dodgeball.
Or it could be a 10-on-1 type of situation, if your luck is bad. But on a good game...
You got to go pretty deep down the internet to see that.
But But who wants to see that? That's like when you see a team murdering another team. It's like, that's boring at this point.
Right.
I want to see, 5-on-5, 4-on-4, and then get down to the 1-on-1 final battle, big
okay.
boss,
The big boss.
So I am interested in this sport that you've created where people die.
Oh, that I created.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in. So if we want to get that started.
Like I said, exploding dodgeball, I think, is the game.
Okay. That's a lot of cleanup.
It's probably one of those situations where you got a cleanup team come in with a fire hose and you can hose the whole gym down. It's a special court.
But as a new sport, you always start like at a lower tier. So we're going to start on those carpeted gyms.
Carpeted gyms? What carpeted gym?
Your elementary school
sound like you were going to maybe a church gym.
All my gyms were churches. I only work at baby. That's where I go. That's what I call the church. Okay, but no. As a kid, all my gyms at all my elementary schools were carpeted.
Ugh, no.
Indoor gyms, yeah, and outdoor.
No, carpeted gyms.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, yes.
What do you mean and outdoor? What's an outdoor gym? The building is the gym.
This is before. What do you mean? In school?
For a gym to be a gym, it has to be indoors. What's an outdoor gym?
Like a blacktop? That's before they made blacktops.
Oh, okay.
I went to a special ESL school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I heard about the cages.
Where we had to assimilate.
The U.S. kids.
Yeah, U.S. kids.
Go to your outdoor carpeted gym, kids. Okay, so I moved on to your fantasy. This is the Munich Massacre. It was an attack during the 1972 Summer Olympics in Munich, West Germany, by 8 members of the Palestinian terrorist group.
Oh, I thought you were saying because I'm a Munich.
I don't know what a Munich is.
Oh, I'm thinking of a eunuch.
A eunuch? I don't know what a eunuch is.
I believe a eunuch is somebody who has been castrated.
Oh, okay. Let's go to eunuch. How do you spell that?
I believe with a U. Unicholas is actually my full name, but you can call me eunuch.
Eunuch. All right.
How did you spell it?
We're back on the Munich Massacre. This is your fantasy. The Munich Massacre was an attack during the 1972 Summer Olympics in Munich, West Germany, by 8 members of the Palestinian terrorist group Black September.
Is this what the movie Munich was about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who took 9 members of the Israeli Olympic team hostage after killing 2 more. Black September called the operation Iqwar and Baram after 2 Palestinian Christian villages whose inhabitants were expelled by the Israeli Defense Forces during the 1948 Arab-Israeli War. Wow, they were thinking about that for a number of years there. The Black September commander was...
They mean business over there.
Latif Afif.
Latif
Afif, who was also the negotiator. West German neo-Nazis gave the group logistical assistance. Wow,
Whoa.
So they teamed up with neo-Nazis. My goodness.
Hey, the enemy of my enemy,
Yeah, keep your enemies close and keep your neo-Nazi enemies even closer.
In your back pocket.
So there were 17 total deaths, 6 Israeli coaches, 5 Israeli athletes, 1 West German police officer, and 5 Black September members. This is your dream for the Olympics.
Yeah, in a sort of way. Not so evil. I mean, I want it more like state,
organized,
like state and government sanctioned.
I see. Okay.
Like where everybody knows the deal, not like, hey, I'm just gonna kill people and hold the other team hostage.
Oh,
or
you're
the rest
saying
of the team.
that, you want a 50-50 fair fight, essentially.
I want 100% fair fight.
100% fair fight.
Yeah, what's the 50-50?
Well, when you split it both ways, it's 50-50.
All right,
It's
guys,
equal.
I want a fair fight. Everybody give me 50-50.
This was
You give me 50%, you give me 50%.
Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, so here's the failed rescue. Let's just fast forward to the failed rescue.
Oh, is this what Argo was about?
That was the sequel to Munich, yeah. There was the ambush plan. The authorities feigned agreement to the Cairo demand. I don't know what the Cairo demand was. 2 Bell UH-1 military helicopters were to transport the terrorists and hostages to nearby some base, a NATO air base. Initially, the perpetrators' plan was to go to Rheims, which
Bremen who?
which was the international airport near Munich at the time, but the negotiators convinced them that Fürstenfeldbruck would be more practical. The authorities who preceded the Black Septembrists and hostages in the third helicopter had an ulterior motive. They planned an armed assault at the airport. Realizing the Palestinians and Israelis had to walk 200 meters through the underground garages to reach the helicopters, the West German police saw another opportunity to ambush the perpetrators and place sharpshooters there. But Issa insisted on checking the route first. He and some other Palestinians walked, pointing their AK-47s at the Germans. At that time, the police snipers were lying behind cars in the side streets, and when they approached, the latter crawled away, making noises in the process. Classic, sniper sneeze situation. Thus, the terrorists were immediately alerted of the dangerous presence, and they decided to use a bus instead of walking. The bus arrived at 10 p.m. and drove the contingent to the helicopters. Issa checked them with a flashlight before boarding in groups. Blah, 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 blah. That didn't work. During a subsequent German investigation...
I am the subsequent German investigator.
What?
This fall. That's just funny because what if there was just the title of subsequent
German
investigator? Yeah.
This fall
that's the
on?
Title. Oh, that's a show now, yeah.
It's on? What network is picking up the subsequent German investigator?
Oh, Fox.
Oh, it's always on Fox.
Always, baby.
A Boeing 727 jet was positioned on the tarmac with 16 German West police inside dressed as flight crew. It was agreed that Issa and Tony, I think these are fake names that the terrorists gave, would inspect the plane. The plan was then that the West Germans would overpower them as they boarded, giving the snipers a chance to kill the remaining terrorists at the helicopters. These were believed to number no more than 2 or 3, according to these German people. However, during the transfer from the bus to the helicopters, this sounds like taking public transportation to LAX.
Sounds like a good movie. I should rewatch Munich.
I've fallen asleep to it a lot of times.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Then there was a massacre. It didn't go well.
8 people dead? 10 people?
17 people died.
17. A lot more if it was my Olympics. I'm just, okay, again, to restate that everyone would be in the know of this Olympics, of my Olympics.
Okay.
Everyone knows the deal. You're coming in, you may not come out.
Well, I think the athletes are pretty motivated to reach the Olympics now. Why? What motivation would they have?
Pride.
Pride? They're just going for pride?
Yeah, pride will kill you.
How did they choose people in the Hunger Games? It was by random? It was like a lottery?
Yes, or you sacrificed yourself as tribute.
As tribute.
I will tribute myself. Tribute me.
Okay.
You have to yell that out. You have to say, tribute me.
Tribute me.
Yeah.
Huh. I'm just trying to think about all the logistics with these Olympic Games. You want the top athletes, but no top athletes are going to volunteer to do this.
Oh, it's not a volunteer.
Okay. Tribute. It's a tribute.
It's a bit of a tribute type of situation, but...
I guess it's kind of like volunteering for the military.
Yes, most of them go for pride.
And knowing that they might
get
killed.
But that's not the outcome that's in their head. They don't want that.
Right. Of course.
So similar situation, you're right, where it's well, yes, that I might die, but I also might become champion winner of my country and will be also all winners become presidents.
This is the worst. This is the worst plan ever. Okay, where do you want to go to next here, Jason? And then let's wrap it up.
Yeah, let's wrap it up on a higher note.
We're on the Munich Massacre. I can only imagine we can go up from here.
Who won that year? Who were the big winners of that Munich Olympic year?
The 1972 Summer Olympics were the second Summer Olympics to be held in Germany after the 1936 Games in Berlin, which had taken place under the Nazi regime. Boy, oh boy, you don't want an Olympics in Germany.
Yeah, now it's over it.
The Soviet Union won the most gold and overall medals.
How about, and what about second and third place?
I don't see... Oh, medal count. Here we go.
Medal
Soviet
count. What's the
Union.
medal count? Give me the medal count, Kyle.
Well, the Soviet Union won 99, the U.S. won 94, East Germany won 66, which was basically Russia back then, and West Germany won 40. Japan won 29. I mean, it's interesting. These are all like World War II heavy hitters,
Right.
You know?
Yeah, to say the least.
To say the least. You don't
Okay.
have England in there, though.
Because England's so spread out. They're all over the place.
They're not.
They can't get themselves together enough athletes to... Back then.
Back then, England was pretty good at sports, man. I don't know what happened to them in this
Yeah, the
Olympics.
sport being colonization.
Well, the ultimate sport.
The ultimate sport.
It sounds like
hunt.
they were doing the Jason Olympics before the Jason Olympics.
Oh, my other question was, what is the medal count for the most gold medals won in an Olympic?
Well, now you're
Season.
just asking for Olympic facts. I can't
Yeah.
find that in the 1972 Olympics list here.
Oh, okay.
What do you want from me, Jason?
I
Are
just
you
wanted to know because
crazy?
I heard 99 and I'm like, okay, that's great. That's a lot. Sounds like a lot already. But that
does
was
sound
also
like a
back in
lot.
71, right? So
72.
72. So
Have you learned nothing?
nowadays, what is your standard? What is,
Well,
is
to
it-
give you an idea, Jason, the 2020 Olympics, the U.S. won 113 medals total. Only 39 of them gold. China won 89 total. Japan won 58 total. Great Britain, resurgence, 64 total. Anyway, that's the Olympics. That's pole vaulting. That's the episode.
That's awesome. Hey, man. I also did some field stuff,
Uh-huh.
but I never did the pole vault because that's super scary. So I totally agree with you. I'm glad the technology has gone up a bit, and we've gone from ash to bamboo to carbon fiber.
I think you and
cool.
I should try doing some long distance pole vaulting so we don't
What
have
does that
to
mean?
get upside down. You just take a long pole and just coast. Just go up and over.
Oh, can I just throw things?
All right, that's the episode. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, everybody. And please don't forget to like and review us wherever you're listening to this podcast. And also remember to follow us on Instagram and TikTok.
Bye.